You're listening to CFRN, the Christian Financial Radio Network.
Good afternoon, traders, and welcome back to the CFRN E-Mini Futures Cast. This is the daily broadcast of Indeterminate Length, where we discuss all things E-Mini, along with some really big ideas on the finer points of trading gold, bonds, crude, sugar, the euro. Joining us today, Mr. Michael Borg. From our trading desk in Chicago, Mr. Burton Schlichter. Now, to get things started, let's go to our host and founder in Studio A, overlooking South Mountain, America's largest city park. Here's Dwayne.
Good afternoon, welcome back. Today is Friday. Yes, 31st day of May 2024. Thanks so much for joining us. Whoever you are, wherever you are, we're just glad to have you right here, right now. This is our second live broadcast of the day. We do 2 every trading day. First broadcast is our live training room. Now that's reserved for members only and those who are taking their 1-week free trial. If you have not taken your 1-week free trial, go to mytradingiq.com. At the very top of the page, there's a link. It says 5-day free trial. No credit card required. Click the link, fill out the registration form, hit submit, and typically same day we will get your desktop set up, get your indicators indicating, and then your trial will actually begin the next trading day. So with today being Friday, you might think, well, should I wait till Monday? No, not at all. Friday's a great day because we'll get you set up today. You'll have Saturday and Sunday to get accustomed to the indicators because, some markets don't sleep ever. And so by the time Monday morning rolls around, you'll have a good idea of how the indicators work, and then your trial will start Monday morning, the opening bell on Wall Street, and you'll get all 5 days next week. So you're really turning a 5-day trial into a 7-day trial. Now, you're not just getting access to the live training room. You're getting access to all the resources that our passport holders have access to. Everything. Weekly trading zones, the one-on-one mentoring, you learn our strategy, you get to use our indicators. You get the weekly zones, the logic alerts, the concierge, everything one of our passport holders has access to. You will have access to for 5 consecutive trading days, all next week. Now, the reason we put forth the time, the energy, and the money required for you to get a 5-day free trial is so at the end of the trial, you can make a well-informed, intelligent decision whether or not trading is right for you. So again, mytradingiq.com, the link's right at the top of the page. 5-day free trial, no credit card required. Just make sure you fill out that registration form properly because it's an automated process. And if you don't fill it out properly, we won't get it. You won't get a trial. Nobody wins. Fill it out right. Everybody wins. Now, when the live training room ends each day at 11:30 a.m. Eastern, take a 30-minute break and come back for this broadcast, the afternoon broadcast, which is open to the public. Everybody everywhere on planet Earth with an internet-connected device. There's a couple of different ways to join the afternoon broadcast live. Best way, you only have to do this once. Go to mytradingiq.com, scroll down to where it says afternoon broadcast. Click that link, complete that 30-second registration form, and you're done. What will happen going forward, every trading day, you'll get an email about an hour before this broadcast starts. In that email, there will be a link. So at 12 noon Eastern, all you have to do is click the link in the email and it will automatically log you into our platform. Benefit there is you have access to the question box so you can ask questions and participate in the discussion. Of course, there will be days when you're out of the office, away from the desktop, but you still want to join live. And there will be days when you're busy and can't join live, but you want to get caught up later. You can do both via our YouTube channel, which is very easy to remember. youtube.com/CFRN. You've already got the YouTube part memorized, so really all you got to remember is CFRN. Not only do we broadcast live every trading day on our YouTube channel, simulcasting as we are doing right now, we also archive each and every daily broadcast. Currently, there are over 2,500 daily episodes archived for your educational and viewing pleasure. And if you're new to the world of CFRN, it's a great way to get to know who we really are. Not just today, not just this week, but thanks to the power of YouTube, you can see how we've evolved over the years. You can scroll back 6 weeks, 6 months, 6 years, even more. And just pick some days at random. Doesn't matter which one. Watch a little bit, fast forward a little bit, jump to another day, do the same thing. You'll discover the thread of connectivity, the thread of continuity is woven through each and every daily broadcast and our very vibrant trading community. youtube.com/CFRN. All right, let's open with our daily devotional and a word of prayer as we do every day. We're finishing up this study on the book of James that we've been on now for 2 weeks. The title is Faith Works. Today's scripture is James 5, verses 19 through 20. And I'm going to share that with you from the Message translation. My dear friends, if you know people who have wandered off from God's truth, don't write them off. Go after them. Get them back, and you will have rescued precious lives from destruction and prevented an epidemic of wandering away from God. Again, that was James 5, verses 19 and 20. So, you can either be a wanderer or a restorer. Restoration begins with confession. You can't fix what you don't recognize is broken. James' letter doesn't wrap up with final words of greeting like most of Paul's letters. James didn't close by naming particular individuals or by offering a broad theological expression of praise. Instead, he hammered home one final practical application of faith in action. If someone isn't putting their faith into action, call them out and point them back in the right direction. What a great note to end this study on. It rings in our ears with force, and finality. Wandering from the truth means we're pursuing something less than God's best for us in the gospel. This is a matter of life and death. This is why Jesus outlined a process to reconcile wanderers from the truth. While the process is often known as church discipline, the goal isn't punishment, but reconciliation. We pursue wanderers, hoping they'll return to the truth and be reconciled to God and the community of the church. Because God has reconciled us to himself at the cross, we help others find the same reconciliation we found. God is a God of pursuit. In the garden, he looked for Adam and Eve after they had sinned and called out to them as they tried to hide in shame. That's in Genesis chapter 3, verses 8 through 9. When sin had infected the whole world, God came in the flesh, Emmanuel, which means God with us. That's in Matthew chapter 1. And in the end, he will come again to restore all things and to bring about the consummation of his redemptive plan. Join me in a word of prayer. Heavenly Father, as we reflect on this scripture we just read, we ask for your guidance to help us bring back those who wander from the truth. Give us compassion and wisdom to guide others gently back to your path. They don't want to stand in judgment. That's your job. Help us to be instruments of your grace, helping to save souls and cover a multitude of sins. Strengthen us in our mission to share your love and truth. It's in Jesus' name we believe and pray. And everybody said, Amen. Amen and happy Friday. All right, let me give you the numbers from around the world. Now, all of our members were prepared for what we've seen today, this sell-off. We've been talking about it for quite some time. So if you're new, you can go back and listen to the previous days. And, you know, it isn't that we have some sixth sense or crystal balls or we're clairvoyant. We just know how to read a chart. Because the chart tells you everything you need to know. But it will surprise you about 20% of the time. Okay, starting here in the U.S. with the cash markets, the indices as they're called, the Dow's up 32 points. Dow's behaved weird for 2 weeks now. The NASDAQ is down 259 points. That's over 1.5%. The S&P 500 is down 37 points. And the Russell 2000 is down 5. In the commodity basket, crude oil down 68 cents, trading 77.23 last. That's a drop of almost 1%. Gold down 13 bucks, trading 23.5360 last. Silver down $1. Ouch. Trading 30.52 last. That's a drop of over 3%. May go back to test that $30 price one more time. Hopefully it holds. If it doesn't, just continue to be patient. In the Asian markets at the close, the Nikkei was up 433 points, over 1%. Shanghai dropped 5 points. The Hang Seng dropped 150 points, which is almost 1%. And in the European markets at the close, FTSE posted a gain of 44 points. The DAX gained 1 point, and the CAC rose 14. No movers, no shakers there. So we had a mixed day in Asia. It was a green day for the UK. Not a big green day, but it was green. And we've got a mixed Radio Friday here in the US of A, with all the major indices in the red except the Dow, which again has behaved sort of out of sync and weirdly now for 2 weeks. But it is what it is, and we trade what's in front of us. In the news, got that CPE number out today, and word on the street is Jerome's not going to change his higher rates for longer stance. Companies are going bust. There's mounting credit card debt and higher mortgage bills. The highest interest rates in years are taking a toll from the US all the way to Australia, creating cracks in economies despite low unemployment and booming stock markets. Even where consumer spending looks solid, it's often being funded by borrowing, from credit cards to the now very popular, you see it on lots of websites. When you buy something on the internet, there's a very good chance you're going to get a buy now, pay later offer. It's all part of the new normal, a world where the floor for rates is much higher and where corporate, household, and government borrowers have to accept that this backdrop is going to be around for a while. That's particularly the case in the US, where the strength of the economy means traders have been reining in Federal Reserve rate cut expectations since the start of the year. The European Central Bank is moving faster, on track to lower rates next week. But easing beyond that is still an open question for the ECB. So while 10-year U.S. Treasury yields have slipped back after touching 5% last year, they remain elevated. Ultimately, there are emerging signs that the lagged impact of higher rates is starting to flow through. Earlier this month, New Zealand's Fletcher Building Limited lowered earnings guidance because of a slowdown in its main housing markets. As consumers cut back, American Airlines Group and Ryanair Holdings both said in recent weeks that they misjudged demand. The Bank of Montreal shares plunged on loan loss concerns, prompting analysts at Scotiabank to respond that the higher for longer rate scenario is a reality. It appears to be impacting credit performance more than analysts or management expected. From weekly shopping to mortgages and big deals in the world of finance, there are examples around the world of the pressures from the higher cost of borrowing. The U.S. credit card rates and rising debt levels have emerged as a soft spot for the world's biggest economy, with younger people in particular feeling the pain. For Gen Z, almost 1 in 7 are maxing out their credit cards every month to cope with the rise in living standards. Now, that's according to a study by officials at the Federal Reserve Bank of New York. On top of that, there are fears that the rise of the buy now, pay later is masking the full extent of consumer distress. See, on the surface, everything kind of still looks okay. People are still going to the store, they're still buying stuff, but they're buying groceries on credit cards. Now, if you pay it off at the end of the month, that's fine. But have you looked at credit card interest rates lately? If you got excellent credit, maybe you pay 22%. If you have not so excellent credit, you may pay 33%. So for these Gen Zers, if they miss 1 or 2 payments, their financial life is basically over. This is a very, very, very serious situation. And we've only seen the tip of the iceberg. On the mortgage side, households are largely insulated after locking in low fixed rates, but many families are at the edge. There's a lot of HELOCs out there. Those are those adjustable rate mortgages. U.S. consumers have added $3.4 trillion in debt since the pandemic, and much of that is subject to these higher interest rates. As of March, 3.2% of outstanding debt was in some stage of delinquency. That's 1.5 percentage points lower than the fourth quarter of 2019, but it's ticking up, particularly for credit cards. In response, there are signs that consumers are watching budgets more carefully. Target, one of the largest U.S. retailers, say that sales have fallen for 4 straight quarters. And the company responded by saying it would cut prices on about 5,000 frequently shopped groceries and other essentials. The consumer is under pressure, especially the lower income households. On Friday, today, figures showed that inflation-adjusted consumer spending unexpectedly fell in April, dragged down by a decrease in outlays for goods and softer services expenditure. Well, it's because the credit card's maxed out. Pain comes after households exhausted pandemic-era savings, hurting subprime borrowers in particular. In subprime auto asset-backed securities, there's been a general deterioration in performance, but 60-plus day delinquency rates are especially high for deals done in 2022, the year after stimulus checks ended, according to Fitch Ratings. Some lenders have tightened underwriting standards in response. Now, if you've got good credit, if you use your credit card, you need to check with your bank or log in to your online banking and see if, you may have had some incredibly low rate at some point, 8%, 10%. And even though you've done nothing wrong and you've missed no payments, you might be surprised to learn that if you buy something on your credit card and you don't pay it off in full, now you're looking at 22, 25, 28% interest. It's very hard to climb out of that kind of a hole. So be careful, guys, because I think it's going to get worse before it gets better. And boy, do I hope I'm wrong. All right. Okay, now I'll go over this, but we just did it. We hit the 38% fib retracement of the last leg up. And I'll show you the warning that I gave all of our members this morning as it was happening. Let's run over this first real quick. Okay. Now, this recap was done last night at 10:15 p.m. Eastern. And as of this morning, nothing had changed. So, Valerie looked, nothing had changed. There's been additional alerts today. So, this afternoon, she'll do a recap to close out the week. And what a week it's been. We're in week 304 of Logic 247. That's how long ago we launched it after the beta test. And over the last 304 weeks, we've issued over 16,800 individual handcrafted alerts. Those alerts have an entry price, an initial target, additional targets, and a final trade to target. And we teach our members how to learn to read the chart so that pretty soon you don't have to rely on the logic alerts, okay? You just do it yourself. Like I said, we don't have any magic wand or crystal balls or any of that nonsense, okay? I know you get a lot of emails, you see a lot of websites with a lot of empty promises. The only holy grail in the world of trading is finding someone willing to teach you how to trade. So, this week, since the markets opened Sunday night at 6 p.m. Eastern, and then we had the Monday holiday, we still issued a total of 35 alerts, but I think I added another 5 or 6 this morning. That will be on the recap this afternoon. At the time of the recap, we were still waiting on the outcome of 5. That gave us 30 actionable alerts, of which nothing has stopped out so far this week. This is about as picture perfect as it gets. Now, over the last 304 weeks, 16,800 individual alerts, we've averaged on a weekly basis 20% or less of the alerts being stopped out based on market structure and a very simple process that we teach all of our passport holders in their one-on-one mentoring sessions. Now, I haven't done this yet this week, so let's just do it real quick. For those of you that are new or don't know what an alert looks like, last week we ended up with 10% stopped out. For the entire week, 43 alerts, 10% stopped out, three of the 43. And then week 304, the week we're in now, we had a short. S means sell, B means buy. We had a short on the ES, a short on the NQ. B is buy. We had a long on crude, short on gold, short on the ES, short on the Dow, short on the Russell, short on the NQ, short on silver, long on crude, long on gold. Still waiting on this one. Short on the Russell, long on silver, short on the euro, short on the ES, short on the NQ, short on crude oil, still waiting, short on the ES, short on the Dow, short on the Russell, short on the NQ, still waiting, And then short on silver, short on crude, short on the ES, still waiting, short on the NQ, short on silver, Russell still waiting, short on the ES, short on the Dow, short on the NQ, short on silver. And then we get into today, so there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more today. Now, on a typical week, I mean, this has been an exceptionally good week. When an alert doesn't trigger by the end of the week, you'll see these Z's. It just means it never triggered. And when it gets stopped out, you'll see a red X. So this has been, again, an extremely good week. Price drops faster than it rises. It's a true story. Okay. Now, the logic alerts are designed to help you learn how to read the chart so you can become self-sufficient. When an alert comes out, a logic alert, you should go to that 30-minute chart. All alerts are based on the 30-minute chart. Draw a horizontal line at the entry price. Draw a horizontal line at the initial target. And then draw a horizontal line at all the additional targets. And then the final trade to target will be the zone above or the zone below, whether it's a long or a short alert. If you'll do that with every alert that comes out, after a couple weeks, you don't even need to look at the alerts I put out, because you can see yourself where the windows of opportunity are. And that's what we want for you. If you want to trade for a living, that'll never happen as long as you're dependent upon someone else to tell you when to get in and when to get out. Now, along with the logic alerts, we also have our original alert service still, which is much older than the logic alerts. The logic alerts can come out anytime around the clock. Futures trade around the clock. We have traders around the globe. The CTAs are published as a static report shortly after the Globex open each evening. The Friday session, which we're in right now, started last night at 6 p.m. Eastern. 15 minutes after the open, all of these targets were published for our members. If price gets above the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the long target. If price gets below the 30-minute BBC, it's attempting to reach the short target. It's that simple. With the CTAs, you start learning to look left yourself to spot potential obstacles. And you learn how price behaves at a weekly trading zone. Price is always trying to reach a weekly trading zone. From the moment the markets open Sunday night till they close Friday afternoon, price is above the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone above. If it's below the 30-minute BBC, it's trying to get to the zone below. BBC simply stands for bull-bear cross. When price crosses above the green line you'll see on my charts, we anticipate higher prices. When price crosses below the green line, then we're bearish and anticipate lower prices. And it's relative to whatever time frame you apply it to. Daily chart, weekly chart, monthly chart, 30-minute chart, 5-minute chart, tick chart, range chart. It's the same. If price crosses above the green line, expect higher prices. If price gets below the green line, expect lower prices. Really simple. We've published the weekly zones since December 14th of 2009, almost 15 years. They come out Monday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern, except when Monday's a holiday, and they come out Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. This gives our traders an opportunity to get them on their charts before Wall Street even wakes up for the week. Just resist the urge to make it more complicated than that. As long as you know which way the wind is blowing, it's pretty simple to reach your goal for the day. And nobody had any trouble figuring out which way the wind was blowing today. Now, did they? Look at that. What a beautiful thing. And I said I would show you, and I will, real quick. Price is almost down to the 38% fib of the last leg up. There's a potential for a bounce. If not, then the 50% fib of the last leg up is at 51.65. This is that bearish engulfing candle that I showed you guys earlier in the week. This is the S&P 500 cash index. You can't trade this. You have to trade futures or options or some kind of derivative. But I said, for me, that is the most bearish signal I know of, as long as it's in the right context. In other words, after a nice up move, we had this huge move, little retracement, continuation of the move. Perfect. And look how far prices dropped. On futures, keep in mind the institutional traders will be eyeballing the 52.12 area to initiate potential long trades. 52.12 is the 38% fib retracement of the last leg up on the daily chart. They may also choose that area to exit their short positions, which requires them to buy. If you're in a short position, you got to buy to get out of it. Then they may initiate long positions in that area, creating that bounce. If we drop below 5,200, then we're probably going to the 50% fib of the last leg up, and that's at 51.65. See where we're sitting right now, 52.12 and a quarter. So all of our traders who have access to the passport holders discussion group laid it out for everybody this morning. And the institutional traders who look at daily, weekly, and monthly charts, the way you and I look at 30-minute charts, 5-minute charts, tick charts, and range charts, they're seeing exactly what you're seeing. You see, they look at those larger time frames because of their account sizes and the size they trade in. They're the ones who actually move price. So whatever market you trade, whether it's futures or stocks, crypto, Forex, ETF, if you'll train yourself to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart before you go to your smaller time frames to start trading, you're literally looking over the shoulder of the people who move price. All you have to do is just do what they're doing long enough to get your goal for the day. I see there's a little tiny wick right there. Let's see if the low, it actually we hit 52.05, so we spiked that 38 a little bit. Okay. Now, could price continue dropping to the 50% fib retracement? Yeah, it could. But institutional traders who were short this move down, which was a pretty healthy move. The day opened at 52.50. We've dropped 45 points. And now they found support right at the 38, just as I explained to everybody this morning in the passport holders discussion group. If you're a member and not a passport holder, you really should upgrade so that you have access to that discussion group. Now, some of the institutional traders may take, at number one, they may get out of their short positions here and initiate long positions. But by this time next week, I think we'll probably be, if not at the 50% retracement, be at the 62. And then we very well may head to the low of April 19th. So Again, train yourself to spend 2 minutes with the daily chart of whatever it is you trade. And over time, you will see your results begin to change because you're trading in the direction of the traders who actually move price. It's pretty simple. Now, as I said, all alerts are created on the 30-minute chart. The vertical line separates today, Friday. Here's Thursday. Back here's Wednesday. If I keep going, it would see Tuesday. So last night, this was the opening candle of the Friday session, 6 p.m. Eastern. 15 minutes into the life of this candle is when the CTA targets were posted. As you can see, it dropped right down to the target, spiked it a little bit. When the market finds support, and I could take you left and show you why the market found support. When the market finds support, it's going to go look for resistance. The pullback to the BBC holds more often than it doesn't. Whether it's pulling from above or below, it holds more often than not. That one held, that one held. This, even though we spiked it, that one held. Okay. So we hit the short target once, and then twice, 3 times, 4 times, 5 times. Then, okay, look at the timing here. 8:30. Got that CPE data. Bang. Sent us up to the long target and the weekly zone. When price moves up to a weekly zone, we expect resistance until proven otherwise. When price drops to a weekly zone, we expect support until proven otherwise. So resistance has sent the market looking for support. Now the pullback holds more often than not, but in fact, on this daily, look at all these pullbacks to the BBC. They hold and they hold and they hold and they hold, but eventually they trade through. Okay. Now, we got one more weekly trading zone below, 5200/5201. That is this week's lowest weekly trading zone. And we very well may see it by close of business today. Now, the Dow has been below the lowest weekly trading zone for days. Well, yesterday and today. Last week, we closed below the lowest weekly zone on the Dow. Now, for 2 days, look at the Dow. It's just sideways. Crazy, right? Yeah. Anyway, here's where we opened last night, and we dropped right to the short target. Support sends us up to resistance, and that sent us back down to the target support. So I'd be very cautious with any long trades until it's clearly evident that the institutional traders have decided they're ready to get long. I don't know that we'll see that today. But on the daily chart, the bellwether, the S&P, is at a perfect point for them to do that. If they choose not to do that, then we'll continue to drop. Here's where the Russell opened last night. Came right down to the weekly zone. Remember, when price drops to a zone, we expect support. 70% of the time, when price hits a weekly zone, it will consolidate like it did here, like it did here. Okay. 20% of the time, you'll get rejection. 10% of the time, a slice. Now, we came down. We didn't make it all the way to the short target. Buyers came in early here. Okay. This would be a move that I wouldn't be anticipating. But once buyers got us back above the BBC and the weekly zone, and we took out these highs, bang. Okay. Now that's 8:30. That's at CPE data. Then we retraced, made another shot. Now we're back below the BBC with red and falling overhead. 2044 is not the lowest zone, but we could see it today. The lowest zone was 2010. Okay. On the NQ, here's where we opened last night and dropped right to the short target. Support sends a market looking for resistance. Resistance, back to support. Support, back to resistance. Resistance, back to support. And then that 8:30 econ report sent us right up to the zone resistance, and it's been all downhill since then. And that is this week's lowest weekly zone on the NQ. Right? What a beautiful move. From 18,480 to 18,280. It's 200 points at $20 a point. It's $4,000 per contract traded. If you've earned the right to trade 10 contracts, that's a $40,000 move. But you don't start with 10 contracts. You start in SEM. And you stay in SEM until you put together 10 consecutive days in a row where you reach your goal in 10 trades or less. It's all spelled out in our 2420 blueprint. Once you accomplish that, then you'll get the green light to go live with one contract. Once you go live, now your goal is to increase your account balance by $2,000. Once you accomplish that, then the blueprint will give you the green light to add a second contract. The big difference between the first and second contract is the first contract is funded with your startup capital, the money you use to open your account. The second contract is funded with profit you earned in the market. Blueprint's going to tell you when it's time to add number 3, number 4, number 5, number 10, all the way up to number 20. By then, you've got the hang of it. But you only add when the blueprint says it's time, and you only add with profit you earned in the market. If you have the discipline to follow it as it's laid out in the 2420 blueprint. You'll have to break some rules, blow up another account. Crude. Last night, here was the open, dropped right to the short target. Support sends us looking for resistance, which we found right at the zone and the long target. That resistance sent us looking for support, which we found at the weekly trading zone, 7680/85. Now, all these zones that you're seeing, okay, they were published Tuesday morning at 6:15 a.m. Eastern. Here it is Friday. They're still doing their job, just as intended. Price goes up to a zone, resistance, down to a zone, support, support, resistance, support, over and over, again and again. And we've published the zones for almost 15 years. December 14th of this year will make 15 years that our members have had access to these zones every single week. Here's where we opened last night on gold, and we've rolled to the August goal, which is the Q contract. Got a lot of sideways noise until that econ report at 8:30, and that sent us up higher, okay? But we weren't able to take out the high, this high right here. We would expect that to be resistance, but we couldn't even get there. Here's a bearish cross. This is why this candle stopped there. See how the red line crosses below the green line? That's called a bearish cross. When you have a bearish cross that leads to an extended move, the first time price revisits that area, it will almost always be good resistance. Opposite is true of a bullish cross. Okay. So we find resistance, we go look for support. And here we are consolidating out of weekly trading zone. Silver. Here's where we opened. Dropped to the short target. Made a run to the long target. That resistance. Michael, are you there?
I am. Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm good.
didn't.
I'm sorry, I didn't make enough noise.
Yeah, I usually wait for you to make a little noise, and then and here's the euro, guys. We hit the long target. We didn't quite make it to the short target. So, but again, really important. We're sitting right on top of that 38% fib retracement of the last leg up, not the entire move, just the last leg up. And commentaries in the discussion group. Talked about it all morning. So if you're a member and you were not in the workshop last night, make sure you watch the video from last night. And then you'll go, dang, I missed that. Okie doke.
All right. Here, I almost logged off.
Get your internet connection working?
Well,
Kinda.
I called them and they said they found some issues.
Uh,
And they said they reset everything. And then I came up and I did disconnect here and I went back to T-Mobile and it was working fine with T-Mobile. And then when I came back up and I reconnected it to this one, my first attempt on this one, I couldn't get in. But we'll see how it goes here during this session. If it disconnects during this session, then it's an equipment issue, is what they were saying. But they did find some settings that somehow got reset in the modem, and they were able to reset them from where they were.
well, you sound good for now. So
Okay, yeah, so far so good. All right, well,
okay.
hopefully it'll stay that way.
All right.
Here we go. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Friday. Today is the final Friday and the final day of May in 2024. So if you've not taken a free trial with us and you want to, go here to mytradingiq.com. Click on this purple button right here. All right, click on that. Hang on just a second. Let me go here and hit publish and hold that thought. Hold that thought. Keep holding that thought. All right. Hang on. Well, if you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, then go to mytradingiq.com and click on the purple button. When you click on that purple button, you will be sent to a registration page that looks like, hang on, I'll show it to you in just a second here. It's publishing it. Here, we'll go to the spreadsheet, and that'll be done by the time we're done with the spreadsheet. Once you take you'll be sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning. Now we're going to jump to the spreadsheet. If you're going to read the spreadsheet, you got to read all the CFTC risk disclosures down at the bottom. Today, as I said, is the 31st day of May, 2024. Made 74 ticks on the NQ. We lost 14 on the YM. We ended up break even on the Russell after a couple of trades. We were minus 14 on the YM and plus 6 on the ES. Plus 6 on the ES. That put us at plus 375 overall in the morning session. Today it took 9 minutes and 3 trades to get to the goal for the day. At that point, we're up $2,975 and we took a total of 17 trades this morning. All right, so we had a pretty busy trading day comparatively. So we're going to end the month at $6,755. That's over 22 business days, averaging $307 per contract per 2-hour business day. On on the year now, we're at $40,490. So we're 5 full months in, averaging about $8,000 a month. $40,490 per contract. Now that is with one contractor averaging about $8,000 a month. We actually have 17 contracts on now. We're going to go to 18 come Monday. But over 103 business days, we're at $393 per day per contract average. Okay. Now, if you were to follow the 24/20 blueprint and quit trading after you got the goal for the day, so far this year, starting with one contract and working your way up to 5 through May, and that will be at 6 on Monday, you would have averaged $1,237 per hour. If you started with one contract at the beginning of January last year and worked your way all the way through, so far you'd be at $6,144 an hour. $6,144 per hour is where you'd be right now. Quitting when you get the goal for the day, adding one contract a month, right? That's really where you want to be. Now, let's see if this thing's all updated. It should be. If I hit refresh on this and hit this, we should go here. It should be a nice fresh, yes, it is. Okay, so if you haven't taken a free trial with us and you want to take a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button right here. There's no credit card required for the trial. When you click on that purple button, it's going to bump you to this page, registration page. Just fill this out. All we ask for is your name, your email, your phone number. Down here at the bottom, give us your NinjaTrader machine ID, if you have one. Machine ID, not your NinjaTrader ID, machine ID. Your TradingView login ID, if you have one of those, give us your TradingView login ID and hit the register button. Once you hit that register button, you will be sent a confirmation link. You must click on that confirmation link, okay? If you don't click the confirmation link, we don't know that you took the free trial, so make sure you click on that confirmation link, okay? All right, let's get into the actual trades now. I already did the spreadsheet with you, so we can skip that part. We'll get into the actual trades now. Time's at 12:58. All right, well, that's all right. It's all good. Now, I had shut everything off. All I have on is the purple arrows and the yellow ones. The yellow ones are from TV Trade, so I'll shut that off right now. And I'll put all the arrows back on here. And all the rest of the color that you're so accustomed to seeing, I'll put all back on here for you. This was from training this morning. I had shut this stuff off. So we'll put it all back on. And we'll get into everything. All right. Scrolling all the way back here. I think this. And all right. So I'm just going to start the whole thing if you were to reading the spreadsheet thing. Now, this was our first trade here on the YM. The way it worked out today, the YM was probably the last thing we got. Yeah, we got the goal for the day on the NQ. But on this very first trade on the YM, we picked up 4 ticks. And the next one right here, we picked up 2 more to give us 6. Break even. Was, that right there was a really big move on the break even trade. Then we stopped out here. That put us at -4. And then there was a huge mistake on my part. I didn't actually take this. I was looking at the NQ chart when I took this trade, and I took it on the YM, but I was looking at the NQ chart, and I stopped out on the YM, taking that trade because I put it together completely wrong. I don't know what I was thinking. I was thinking the down close of this bar is going to be a trade, and then I waited for the down close, and I put the trade on, and it was, I was looking at the NQ chart when I did that. It would have been a winning trade on the NQ. Anyway, I think that was our last trade this morning. It was our last trade this morning. You can see here we didn't have much going on here during the break. We had a couple of green arrows. This one did put in a higher swing, so you could have taken this one. And this one, if you didn't get too much slippage, wouldn't have stopped you out. You would have stayed in through the second one for that nice move up right there. Okay, but we ended with, on the YM, -14. Actually, we stopped out twice in a row. Ended up with -14. And the Russell, we started out with, go back to the beginning. On the Russell, here we are, back at the beginning. We started out right here with a +5 on the first trade, right there, +5 on that trade, then another +5 on that trade got us to 10. And then we stopped out on that one, put us back down to 0. And that was all we did with the Russell this morning. it kind of hugged the weekly trading zone right here for a little while. And then it had some good movement, but it got down to this weekly trading zone and hugged this weekly trading zone. We did in there. During the break, we had quite a while, and we ended up not having anything else. There was one trade here going into the zone, I wouldn't have done it. And there it goes. So it is an equipment issue. If I'd had a, I was saying that we had just a couple of trades here on the ES this morning, and the first one we picked up 16 ticks, and then we stopped out on the second one, pretty much to the tick. If I'd had a better fill on this, then we would have gotten out of break even on this move down right here. But it ended up stopping us out to the tick on the pullback because my fill was like down here somewhere. That was all that we did on the ES. Okay, that was all that we did on the ES today. So, well, hang on, I didn't go what happened during the break on the ES. During the break, there was nothing on the ES. There was one blue arrow right here. That would not have worked out, and that was it during the break. It was a green arrow here that, depending on where you got in, would have gotten your break even. This you wouldn't have done because you would have had this one here. You would have stopped out on that. Okay, and on the NQ now. On the NQ, let's go all the way back here. We're getting there. Almost there. All right, here we are on the NQ. So this first trade right here on the NQ, we ended up with a break even, and this is where we got the goal for the day. I believe at this point we're up 5 on the Russell, and we got a 30-tick trade right there. They gave us 35 overall. That is where we got the goal for the day. And we jumped on this one, got another 30 ticks. So at that point, we were up 60 on the NQ. We had a break even there, and then 4 ticks on that one to get us to 64. And then we stopped out, put us down to 44. And then we didn't trade for a little while through there. Then we got another 30-tick trade right there, put us up to 74. Then something happened, and I was missing all these trades right here. I missed that one, which was a really nice trade. And I was really liking the leg lengths in here. I missed that one, and I missed all of this, and that, and all of this. I missed all this stuff. I don't know what I was doing when I missed all this, but you can see there was some nice, really nice blue, purple, green arrows, all that stuff. All the way over to here. Then we get into the break. Now during the break, there was not a lot happening, was there? Yeah, there was one blue arrow here that would have stopped out. Blue arrow here, again, would have stopped out to the tick for me because I would have had slippage. Same thing again, right there. And again, man, it was a rough time for the blue arrows during the break. The green arrows were pretty good though. Green arrows are good there, there, even, there. This one here wouldn't have worked out so well. So I don't know what we're going to get here during the break right now. I mean, during this session right now, during the next 25 minutes, the markets, they seem to be a little bit messy right here. These had nice, they all had a nice run right here, but I don't know if it just lost its steam after that run. I thought a little while ago Dwayne said Trump was talking or something like that, so I don't know exactly how that's going to play out. But, well, that's all I got. Now, if you have not taken a free trial with us, let's just start that over again. If you have not taken a free trial with us, go here to mytradingiq.com, click on the purple button right here. There is no credit card required for the trial. Click on that purple button and you'll be brought to this registration page. On the registration page, just fill out this little form. Let's fill it all out. We sent everything you need to get into the room in the morning. If you give us your Ninja Trader machine ID, Ninja Trader machine ID, or your TradingView login ID. If you have a login ID, give us your TradingView login ID, and we will enable your indicators for you, so you have them running for you at the beginning of your trial. If you take the trial right now, we'll get your indicators enabled for you, so you have them over the weekend. You can mess around with them over the weekend and get used to using them over the weekend, right? If you do that right now. All right. Yeah. So the spreadsheet today. Oh, we just finished up the month. The month of May. I don't know if I started another spreadsheet for next month down there. I'll get that going. But for the month of May, we're going to end it with $6,755 per contract over 22 business days, averaging $307 per contract per 2-hour business day. So this number right here, quitting when we got the goal for the day, this needs to be 34,000 to be able to add another contract next month. And you can see we're almost 20,000 over that 34,000 mark. So we had some pretty good days this month getting the goal. You know, most of the days were not $1,700. $1,700 is when we got exactly the goal. But most of the days when we got the goal were way more than 1,700. That's why it's so much more. And we had those extra 2 business days, and right there resulted in almost $3,000 by themselves. I'm sorry, almost $6,000 by themselves. It did actually result in $6,000 by themselves, a little more. Just those 2 days. So, you know, when you have 17 contracts on, it adds up quick. It adds up quick. And that, my friends, is the value of following the 24/20 blueprint. Work your way up, slow and steady. Slow and steady. Now,
Question for
internet
you
problems.
In the YouTube channel.
Okay. All right, hang on, I don't have that running right now. Let me just open that up.
Can you please show the target view trades using a 15 range on the NQ today?
I sure can. Let me just open this up first. Okay, give me a sec. YouTube.com and then do / oh, there it is right there. Excuse me. Okay, I don't see the question in there yet, but maybe it's still loading. Or maybe it had to be. Huh. I guess it doesn't reload the questions for me if the question's not there when I start it up. Or maybe it's still loading. I don't know. Okay. Let me see. This. And yeah, it does look like my internet is kind of messed up trying to save it. Give me a minute here, guys. All right, I think it's back. It's still trying to save that layout. This is frustrating.
Well, the person asking the question.
All right. Well, can you still hear me?
Their name is Patient Trader.
It says my mic is on.
I can hear you. Obviously, you can't hear me.
I see the Patient Trader, but can you still hear me? All right, there. It looks like everything's finally back.
I can hear you. But I guess you can't hear me.
Yeah, just a little bit. Okay, well, what I was trying to do is up. I believe I'm back on. So, yes. All right. So you don't see the NQ 15 range. Okay, I switched works there. I was just doing all that. I switched works just once to come back up. Okay. Because I just switched works, so I'm back to the other network right now. Optic thing. It's going to be an equipment issue, is what they said. The phone call that we had, so they reset it. They said that didn't work. It's an equipment issue. So they can just send somebody out here and fix my equipment. not the kind of I was expecting to get with Optic. This is satellite. What's coming up right now? And hope it will be up. For those of you guys that are watching at YouTube, you're gonna have like a few minutes just blank green right there, I think. Sadly. And those of you guys watching right here, it's not working all that much better right now either. So how am I doing? Here it is. All right, so we got the 15 range NQ. Now, this 15 range NQ with the old, not it doesn't have the new release on it right now. Okay, I believe we're all back up and everything's running properly. So yesterday, I had put out, last night or yesterday afternoon, I had put out a new TV trades. Okay, if you are running with the desktop version, you have to actually get the version all the way off and turn all the way back on to get to it. But we have a thing right in here called mid-trend trade. And if you put that on, and you click that, and do that, you get rid of that one. The mid-trend trade, you do access in the mid-trend, right? If you want it. But this is the trick on the end today. It's basic signals that happen at the beginning of the trend. You know, they're doing well today. Basic signals that happen at the beginning of the trend. Okay. If you were to put the bias on, you see the mid-trend trade works after these. Now the mid-trend trade does not reflect in the table. It does not reflect in the table at all. All the targets and everything are based upon the initial part of the trend right here when you get the signal at the beginning of the trend. Okay. And like if we were to put, if you go in here and you put the target lines on the charts, right? All the target lines are based upon this arrow right here. Okay, they're based upon this arrow. So if you had the trend arrow right here, trigger, then these target lines would still be based upon this. You'd still be using the same target line based upon this, right? Because looking left is going to have the same pivots. Right? That's where you're having more than 3 targets might come in handy. If you hit the first 3 targets like this, having the 4th one and the 5th one, if you get the mid-trend trade right now, would be a pretty good thing. Now, you can see that if you throw the bias on this, enable the bias, that's going to affect the mid-trend trades as well as the regular ones when we put the bias on, right? So in this case right here, the bias is bullish. So you're only going to have the long trades. So you have this one right here. Had a good chance to take some profit in that. The stop would have been down here, this swing low. You get the mid-trend trade, the stop is 1 tick of the bar to cut you into the trade. Now this is a range bar, 15 range bar, so the stop's going to be 1 tick below that 15 range right there. But if you had on like a minute bar, then the stop would be 1 tick below or above whatever bar it is to cut into the trade. Okay, like this one, your stop would be up here. All right. And this one right here, your stop would be up here, and this one right here, your stop would be up here. Okay. But of course, for the NQ, you know, I recommend range bar for everything, really. But that was one of the features. If you're watching out, patient trader, you see nothing. Hey, just keep it a few minutes, patient trader. Okay. I am getting things fixed. I got new fiber optic network, and you can see that was not working. I switched back to my satellite network, and that is working. But you're gonna have to wait a couple of minutes while it goes through in YouTube. It's got a little bit of delay, so you're gonna have to wait a couple of minutes for that to show up for you. Okay. Will return. All right, so we just got a mid-trend trade right here. So with this mid-trend trade right now, you're using these targets based upon this last arrow right here. Okay, this mid-trend trade, using these targets based on that arrow. Now, if I go in here and I extend this out to 5 targets, then you have more targets to work with that mid-trend trade thing, right? Mid-trend trade trigger. There's more targets to work with right there. You have this one, and once it gets up above that one, and once it gets up above that one, you have that one. We have 5 targets out, but I could make more than 5 targets out. I could make that like 6 or 10, but there it is. Okay, so now you guys will be able to see my my charts. All right, so just have a little patience over there. You'll see it. The delay is all on my end. It's all on my end, and I tried to get it fixed before I came on, and Didn't work. Now it should work because I'm back on Sally right now. Just fiber optic stuff for a few minutes here. Oh, completely right. All right. So it's 121. Let's have this big trend trade. I ran up a little bit right here. Now, one of the statements that I got from one of the guys was, how do you manage these trades? And in the session that I did on Tuesday afternoon, I explained how I thought you should manage your stop to get your stop to break even. I didn't explain how you should trail your stop afterward, but he thought what I said had something to do with how to trail it afterward. It didn't. So let me just clarify. What I had said on Tuesday is, if you're in a trade and you have your initial stop on, in this case right here, stop's going to be the low of the prior bar. Let's say in this case, well, your stop was 6.5 points. If you make half of that, which would be what, 3.25 points. We'll say, let's just 6.5. We'll say 3.25 points. If you make 3.25 points, which is 13 ticks in profit, that's when I would say bring your stop to break even. Half of your risk in profit, bring the stop to break even. That's what I said. He had it wrong in an email he sent to me. He had it wrong. His interpretation of it was wrong. But that's what I was saying. When to bring your stop to break even. Okay. Now, normally in the room in the morning, it's all pretty in the morning because we always have a 20 tick stop. And we always 20 tick stop and bump the stop to break even after 8 ticks in profit. But with this, it's different. Okay, but it's different because it's going target after target after target. So the mid trade, you have another chance to get in right here. You have another chance to jump in. You would have been below this bar, so you would have gotten some profit, ran on stop, and then ran up more. I don't know if it's going to give us another mid trend here. We'll see in a few minutes. But you see you want to do the DV trades on the MQ30 minute. I'm going to go over that stop to break even. I did write the code to exactly when to stop. Complicated. I don't want to complicate things. Just break even with some profit. Right, put a target on there and be a target, and yourself to break even with a target. Easy to trade. Just we have all these profits on here for try not to break even. You should show you get 50% of your risk in profit. Fail to break even. Right? Now that's the bar, 5-minute bar. Wow. You know what? This has been frustrating. Why don't you just wrap it up? Okay. Let me try with this. Do here, go to targetviewtrades.com. See with this, go to viewtrades.com and sign up for the free trial there. Okay. See it in a minute, hopefully. And yeah, I just lost the internet. All right. Thanks for with us here in the room in the morning. Go to mytradingq.com. Click on the purple button and trial there. Right, there's the credit card required for the trial of the room in the morning. Right, just on a purple button and sign up for it right there. All right. I just got to you. This is really frustrating for me. I think I have those Phoenix, Arizona. It's pretty late overlooking South. America's largest city park. There it goes.
All right, guys. Sorry about
Thank
that. Can you hear me now?
Thank you for my misery.
Okay.
I can hear you just fine. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I could
Yeah.
hear you before. Intermittently, you were cutting in and out, but you weren't able to hear me. So
No,
anyway,
it's not.
guys,
Oh,
just come back Monday. We'll do it all again.
we will. We will indeed.
We do it
All right.
every day.
Thank you.
And if you go to
I'm
youtube.com/CFRN, you can see yesterday's. There's over 2,500 daily episodes archived at youtube.com/CFRN. Okay. All righty. We'll take one last look at the daily chart. Now, remember what I talked about. Institutional traders, we hit that 38%. They're in short positions. At the 38, they're going to take profit, which means they have to buy. That's enough to give you a bounce. Now, if they decide to initiate long positions, they'll get even more of a bounce. It's everything that I wrote about this morning. That I showed you earlier. So if you're a member, but not a passport holder, upgrade so that you have access to all this kind of information, okay, every day. When you become a passport holder, you will have. So we talked about price gets to the 38. On futures, keep in mind institutional traders will be eyeballing the 52.12 area to initiate potential long trades. That's the 38% fib retracement of the last leg up on the daily chart. They may also choose that area to exit their short positions, which require them to buy. Then they may initiate long positions in that area. Okay. Now this is Pacific time with Telegram. Telegram reads the clock on your computer. So because I'm on West Coast time, this is West Coast. But if you look at the same thing on your computer and you're on the East Coast, it's going to have East Coast time. You're in the Midwest. Okay. So anyway, everything that happened, not because we have crystal balls or any of that, it's simply being able to read the chart. So if you want to learn how to trade, first got to learn how to read the chart and understand what the next logical thing is. Our goal is to help you become self-sufficient. To become a member and to get all that information, go to mytradingiq.com. If you have questions, you can call us at 949-42-EMINI or send an email to support@cfrn.net. Once you become a passport holder, you'll have 2 hours of live training every trading day. You'll have access to one-on-one private mentoring at no additional charge. The strategy you learn, the indicators that you own as a passport holder are fluid across all markets, all time frames. Futures, stocks, crypto, Forex, ETFs, doesn't matter. Price flow is the same across all markets and all time frames. You'll also get the Logic 247 alerts, the concierge trade alerts, everything a trader needs, all under one roof, one low price. And for anybody that tuned in late, give you one last look at this. So far this week on Logic 247, now when Valerie did the recap last night, we had 35 alerts. Monday was a holiday, but I've added 6 more this morning, and so she'll do another recap this afternoon. And it's been an incredible week with nothing stopped out yet. Probably by the end of the day, when she does the final recap for the week, I'm sure something will. This was a very good week. And so these logic alerts will help you learn how to read the chart. Okay? So, and the CTAs, which I showed earlier, show them to you again real quick. All of our members and trial members got these targets last night, 15 minutes after the open. And so what happened? Show you one more time. We'll just start over here with the Dow. We hit the short target. Now we're trying to climb to the long target. Gold, hit the long target and the short target. Crude, long target and the short target. Multiple times. Short target. NQ. This zone prevented us from getting all the way to the long target, but we hit short target multiple times. Now the step line is crossing red and falling, so look for price to pull up to the VVC, which we expect to be resistance. That'll give us another leg to the downside. The Russell, we didn't quite make it to the short target. We hit the long target several times and making another run at it. ES, short target, long target, short target, short target. Silver, short target, long target, short target. And on the euro, just the long target. If that would be beneficial to you, go here, become a member today. No reason to put it off. The only holy grail in the world of trading is finding someone who's willing to teach you how to trade. Trading's not easy. It can be simple. And we've worked very hard for many years to make it as simple as we possibly can. All right, let's close the week out and the month with our good word for the day. Don't even think about giving up. 2 Corinthians 4:8. We are afflicted in every way, but not crushed. We're perplexed, but not despairing. Now, how many times as a trader have you said, man, I'm just going to give up? Don't give up. Learn how. Why do we give up? Well, number one, we fear failure. Past hurts and mistakes haunt us, and we think it's better not to try again than risk failing. Don't spend your life digging up bones. We all have things in our past that we would rather forget than behind you. Paul writes in Philippians 3:13, forgetting what is behind and reaching forward to what is ahead. Number two, we worry about what people will say. Proverbs 29:25, the fear of man brings a snare. Stop comparing yourself to other people. Stop worrying about what other people think. It's none of your business what they think about you. How you respond to criticism is one of the most important decisions you'll ever make. There will always be people who won't like or understand you. That's their problem, not yours. Number three, we listen to the wrong voices. Satan is the father of lies and will do everything he can to discourage you. Paul says in 2 Corinthians 10:5, we demolish arguments and every pretension that sets itself up against the knowledge of God. and we take captive every thought to make it obedient to Christ. When a thought comes, examine it. If it's from God, receive it. If it's from the enemy, demolish it. Number 4, we lose focus. As believers, we're to walk by faith, not by sight. 2 Corinthians 5:7. That means making every decision based on what God says and not what you see with your natural eyes. Number 5, we lose touch with other believers. When the apostles got out of jail, they went back to their own company, their friends. Acts 4:23. To stay strong, you need fellowship with other Christians. Too many people give up on the verge of success. Don't be one of them. There's only 1 degree of difference between hot water and steam. So keep going and don't even think of giving up. And that's our good word for the day. Thanks so much for tuning in. Whoever you are, wherever you are, may God continue to richly bless you. His mercy, with His grace. And I'll see you at the bell.
Remember this, there is no greater return on investment than to see a human life changed and given hope. As always, pray hard and trade safe. Any financial information discussed on this show is simply the opinion of our host, Dwayne Reeves, his co-hosts, and guests. To learn more about trading E-mini futures or to take a 1-week free trial in our live trading room, call 1-866-928-3310. 866-928-3310. Information discussed on this radio program should not be construed as a recommendation to buy or sell any security. Always do your own due diligence and consult with a licensed securities broker or financial planner before making any investment decision.